Hi, I'm Lisa Bell, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about our organization. In 2005, we incorporated Portals, and in the last 5 years, we've logged over 27,000 hours of service and have touched the lives of nearly 3,000 parents, children, and teachers in our community. Last year, we changed our name to better reflect the focus of our organization. Our new name is Buddies Not Bullies, and we're dedicated to strengthening the lives of children and families by teaching healthy relationship skills. In this section, we'll learn about bullying, how much and how often. So what's the big deal about bullying? Well, nearly 7 million children in the United States are involved in bullying more than once a week. Over 160,000 children stay home from school every day because of bullying. Kids who are targeted by bullying are more likely to be depressed and/or suicidal. Kids who are targeted are 5 times more likely to be depressed. Boys are 4 times more likely to be suicidal, and girls are 8 times more likely to be suicidal. Every 7 minutes, a child is bullied. So who's watching? It's amazing that adults only intervene in bullying about 4% of the time. Other kids intervene about 11% of the time. 85% of the time, nobody helps a child who's being bullied. Bullying negatively impacts concentration and achievement. Kids can't learn when they're being bullied. Kids who are targets score lower on achievement tests, have more mental health problems, poorer concentration, and lower grades. When there aren't consequences for bullying, the problem just gets worse. Kids who bully think that they can get by with it. Kids who don't bully come to believe that they're helpless, so why bother reporting it? Still not a big deal? Kids who are frequent bullies are convicted of crimes earlier and more often than kids who aren't bullies. Bullies are at greater risk for drug and alcohol abuse. They're more likely to continue their abusive and antisocial behaviors into adulthood. Kids who bully often grow up to perpetuate physical, verbal, and emotional violence against their families or carry these behaviors into the workplace. Workplace violence costs the United States employers billions of dollars every year. 45% of employees say that they've worked for an abusive boss. 64% of those want to have legal recourse. Many states have introduced legislation to stop bullying at work. Missouri is included in that list. The psychological and physical torment that kids endure in school would meet legal definitions of harassment and/or assault if it was committed at work. Psychological harassment is becoming more of a problem in the workplace just as it is in school. Turnover, absenteeism, lost productivity, increased healthcare cost, increased workman's compensation cost, those are all soft costs involved in bullying at work. Bullying behaviors can be direct or indirect. So let's talk for a moment a little bit about the direct behaviors. We have verbal bullying, which includes name-calling, mocking, hurtful teasing, insults, put-downs, humiliation, racist or sexist comments, and harassment. Of course, then we have the well-known physical bullying, which includes shoving, pushing, hitting, spitting, beating up, stealing or damaging property, and assault. The third type of direct bullying is psychological. This includes giving dirty looks, uttering threats, intimidating each other, or extortion. Indirectly, kids gossip about each other. Usually, gossip involves lowering somebody's opinion of the target. Then we have social aggression, telling people not to be friends with the target, or spreading rumors and damaging friendships. Finally, we have exclusion, that's shunning somebody or intentionally leaving them out. There's a special type of bullying called cyberbullying, which is the use of the internet or a cell phone to send hurtful messages or post information to damage someone's reputation and friendships. Cyberbullying can also involve threats and harassment, creating websites that ridicule, posting inappropriate pictures, and the motivation of these bullies can be very different than the traditional bullying. Cyberbullying is discussed at length in our other parent presentation. Let's talk a bit about some facts about bullying. The average bullying incident lasts only 37 seconds, and most incidents are verbal and brief. Boys tend to be bullied physically and directly. Girls tend to be bullied emotionally and indirectly. Some kids are bullies, others are targets, some are both bullies and targets. Most kids, about 70%, are bystanders. Bullying is a spectator sport, And what I mean by that is that bullying is a group phenomena. 85% of the time, a bystander is present for the bullying. Did you know that if a bystander gets involved within 10 seconds, the bullying incident is likely to be reduced by over 50%? That's just by saying, hey, what's going on here? Just like child abuse, bullying thrives in conditions of secrecy and isolation. Even though bullying is a group phenomena, kids still aren't telling adults when it's happening. That leads us to our next fact. Kids frequently don't tell adults. 80% of the time, school staff do not know that bullying episodes have occurred. Over 50% of the time, kids don't report bullying incidents to school staff. The statistics are even lower for cyberbullying. So what exactly is bullying? Really, it's the most common form of violence in our society today. It's learned antisocial behavior. Not all kids bully. Most kids, though, do tend to engage in periodic mistreatment of each other. Sometimes bullying is very intense and can do a great deal of damage to a child. According to the Journal of the American Medical Association, the definition of bullying is a relationship problem whereby power and aggression are used to cause distress to a vulnerable person. In our work with kids, we've come to expand that definition of bully to include any mean word, look, action, communication, or sign that is intended to hurt another person or their belongings. The key word in that is intended.